So you're sitting there right now, and maybe you're hovering over this video, and you're 21 or 22. You've got no money, no girlfriend, and no real idea of what you're doing with your life. You feel behind. And everyone else looks like they've got it figured out. And on top of that, you pull out your phone, and you go on Instagram, and you see dudes your age flexing cars, watches, trips to Bali, and you're sitting there with $12 in your bank account, wondering if you missed some secret life manual. But here's the thing, man. That's not failure. That's foundation. This video isn't going to be some motivational fluff. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Yes, it does suck to have $12 in your bank account. But I'm going to tell you why being broke, single, and lost in your early 20s is actually the best thing that could have happened to you if you use it right. Let's talk. I just want to start this video off by saying that if you're sitting there and you quite literally are 22, broke, single, confused, good. And the thing is, I know exactly how you feel. I've been there. I have been there. I know what it's like to be living in an apartment all by yourself with literally $10 in your bank account. Heck, even negative money in your bank account. I've been broke many times in my life, right? But I think it's important to realize and have perspective. You know, some people could be sitting there saying, man, like, you know, my friends growing up, like, they got to go on all these cool vacations with their parents, or like they got to, like, you know, get cars bought for them, or like they inherited money. Like, man, like why can't that happen to me? Which is true, but at the same time, there's also people that have it way worse than you, dude. There's people that have it way worse. And the fact of the matter is, if you're 22 right now and you have no money, heck, even if you're 30, if you got no money, heck, if you're 35, this still applies to people who might be even slightly older. Right now, you're not failing, you're free, right? So right now, if you're at rock bottom, or if you're at least semi-close to rock bottom, let's just say, like, you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a girlfriend, and you feel lost, right? So let's say you're either A, at rock bottom, or B, pretty close, right? That's actually freedom. That's like being dropped into a huge open world game with no maps and no rules. Yeah, it's overwhelming at first, but you can go anywhere. You can do anything from here. The good thing about being at rock bottom is it's only up from there, right? So people who often have it, like, you go on Instagram and you see these guys that are whipping Lambos at 20. A, 80% of that's probably fake. B, like, social media is designed for you to think you're behind. Like, that's how they make money, right? All these people selling you stuff, or all these videos you see, it's designed to get you to want to watch it more. This is the one time in your life where you can afford to mess things up, right? Like, if someone has a bunch of stocks and they have $100 worth of stocks, you can afford to lose that. But if you have 10 million in stocks, like, you're not going to want to lose that, and you're going to be probably even more stressed out trying to manage it. So you don't owe anyone a straight path. You owe yourself exploration. Feeling lost, that's good. That means you're not stuck yet. So you have to flip it and make it positive. Anything in life, you can flip it and make it a positive. You've all heard the saying about, you know, a glass of wine half empty versus half full. You have to always look at the positives in your life. And I guarantee you that if you were to sit there and you know, compare yourself and just really think, imagine the people overseas getting bombed, or the people that, you know, got cancer at age of 3 and died. Like, people have it worse than you. So it's all about perspective. And most people trade freedom for comfort way too early. Don't rush the trap. And one thing I want you to think about is that the struggle eventually will equal clarity. Even myself, I used to have a lot of resentment, you know, because it's like, you know, I'm not saying I grew up homeless or anything, but, you know, there was definitely friends of mine who, quote unquote, had it easier, or quote unquote had more help. And when I was younger, I used to kind of like have some resentment around this, but the struggle gave me a lot of clarity, and I wouldn't take anything back for anything, literally. Like, the fact of me having to work a ton, work on weekends, try all these businesses and fail, and continue to improve my skill sets and knowledge, whether that's in business or career or relationships or psychology or anything in life, it's just helped me to build more of a foundation for myself and get more confidence in myself. And I know that the stock market could crash tomorrow. I'm still myself. I still have the skills and knowledge that I have, and I will figure it out. And feeling confused forces you to question things. And that questioning is powerful. Most people never do it. It's like trying to tune into a radio station. Right now it's static. But that static is the signal that you're searching for. And the thing is, pain and the struggle that you're going through makes you look inward. It makes you ask better questions. If you want better answers, you have to ask better questions. Why do I feel this way? Right? Like you have to sit there and ask yourself, why do I feel like I don't have it good? Why am I actually broke? Why don't I actually have a girlfriend? Listen, I understand the struggles of not having money, and I understand the struggles of modern dating. But ask yourself genuinely, if I were a girl, would I date me? Right? You have to ask yourself that. That's a question I asked myself when I was single. Right? Fortunately for myself now, I have an amazing woman, but I was in the dating game for many years, and that's literally a question I sat there and asked myself. I was like, if I was a girl, would I date me? And I got to the point, and I took the steps necessary to make it a yes. Right? So the clarity, comes from thinking yes, but it also comes from trying, failing, learning, and continuously improving. And if you're sitting there and you're struggling right now, you don't have a lot of money and things like that, the pain you feel right now is the birthplace of your purpose. I have another video that I've posted in the past, so check it out, about, finding purpose. But all in all together, you're not behind. Like, social media is designed to make you feel like you're always behind. And even myself, I still feel this way too. Like, I always feel like no matter what, I could be doing more, and I'm behind. And it's okay to think that to some extent. It's okay to want to get better, but it is definitely not okay to always feel like you're behind. So I'm here to tell you that you're not behind. You're not a loser. You're in boot camp. You're in training, right? Batman was climbing the mountains before he came to Dark Knight. He climbed the mountains to Nana Parbat and fought Ra's al Ghul before he ever was the Dark Knight over Gotham, right? No one sees that part, but it's where the real version of you is forged. Just like Call of Duty, just like, any other video game. You go through a tutorial, you go through training, and you have to try and fail and learn the skills. You're not behind. It's okay if you're 22 or 30 and you don't have a lot of money, but let's make sure that when you're 50, you have more. Or it's okay if you're 22 or you're 30 and you don't know how to play the guitar. But guess what? If you want to play the guitar, take the steps forward and train to be able to play the guitar. It's okay. It's totally fine to, think you're behind, but just don't stay there. Focus on the small wins. And the thing is, once again, social media and the internet is designed to make you feel like you're behind. Quite frankly, if you have $1,000 in your savings, you're actually ahead of most Americans, funny enough. I'm pretty sure, I've said this before, but there's a statistic that I saw that 60% of Americans can't even cover $1,000 emergency expense. So you're not as far behind as you think. Now, does that mean you should be content and not try to get better? No, I'm not saying that. You should always try to get better. But what I am saying is, it's okay to feel like you're behind, but just tell yourself, listen, you're in the boot camp, you're in the training, and Batman would not be Batman without the struggles and the hardships that he went through. Just as any hero or any fictional character that you guys like, it's the same thing. So you're not stuck, you're just in the cocoon, and no butterfly ever came out of comfortable. So, yeah, listen, you're 22, you're broke, you're single, confused. Good. That means you're exactly where you're supposed to be, on the edge of transformation. Don't try to skip this part. No hero skips the part. Like I said, Batman doesn't skip the part of where his parents get shot. He doesn't get to skip the part of him learning 127 martial arts. He doesn't skip the part of, defeating all these thugs and, being a young Batman out there, upgrading his suit, learning more skill sets, upgrading his detective skills. He doesn't get to skip that part. Embrace it, use it. So if you're sitting there right now and you're working a dead-end job, or you're just unhappy with where you're at, you're out of shape, a six-pack wouldn't be valuable if everyone had it. The fact that a six-pack is valuable, I don't know if you guys know this, there's actually more millionaires in America than people with a six-pack. Think about that. A six-pack is more rare than $1 million, or than a millionaire. So the reason it's valuable is because you can't necessarily buy it. Yes, you can get plastic surgery, but let's be real. A legit six-pack, you have to actually you have to have the abdominal muscles as well as be lean enough to see it. So that's my point. If you want to be the guy that you want to be the guy that's disciplined, has a girl that desires and loves him, has a strong network of friends, has a career that he loves, you have to become that person. You can't skip the part and skip the hardships of that, right? So embrace it. You're not behind, you're just warming up. Before you click off, I want to ask you guys this one question. I'd love to hear your feedback. What's one thing you're struggling with right now in your 20s or 30s or 40s? What's one thing that if I asked you this question, if I was a therapist and you were sitting in front of me and I said, what's the number one thing you're struggling with right now? What is it? I'd love to hear more. And what's one small win that you've recently had that reminds you that you're still in the game? If you like this video, drop a comment below, or if you know someone that's maybe struggling with discipline or maybe would resonate with this video, feel free to send it over to them. I would appreciate it a lot. And like I said, drop a comment. I read every one. And If this really hits you in the chest, do me a favor, subscribe, because I'm making more videos just like this one for guys and girls out there like us who are done pretending and ready to build something real. Thanks, guys.